Hi, this is Elaine Starling, and I'm inviting Elaine Niederberg to join me. We're going to do a side-by-side discussion of everyday spirituality because this is something that everybody experiences. Everybody is spiritual. It's just we don't always adopt spirituality in the same way. And so I wanted to get Elaine's take on what she does for renewing, refreshing, and rejuvenating herself through spirit. There she is! Yay! The wonderful Elaine Niederberg. Thank you so much for joining me, Elaine.
Guess what? There's a
What?
ding at the end of my name. Ding, ding,
Oh.
ding, 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 ding.
Oh, sorry. Oh, man. Okay.
It gets butchered all the time. It's another thing
sure
I get to laugh about.
Well, hey, I'll stick with Elaine. I can remember that one.
Hey, I wonder why.
Well, Elaine, I really appreciate you joining me today because I wanted to talk about everyday spirituality. You know, spirituality is something that is so foundational. It's a part of everything we do, and so often we just ignore it. We don't really pay attention to it. But it's important to replenish and nourish yourself. And I know you've got a lot of different techniques that you use to just take that break, to take that moment and reconnect with spirit throughout the day. Would you mind sharing with us one or two of the different techniques that you use and why you find it so important?
Absolutely. So there are a whole lot of us entrepreneurs and coaches and people that spend time online. So we're by our computer. And, you know, there is a little symbol there that I'm going to plant a seed that it maybe is the most important symbol or icon when you have a browser open, you know? And that is the refresh symbol. You know, it's the little circle going back on itself with a little arrow. And while you do that, you know, often you will move your cursor over to refresh when you're not getting the data right, you know? Something's kind of clogged up. It's because the system needs a refresh. It's overloaded with data or something, or it's just pausing briefly. So what we can do is take the pause that refreshes. And that's as simple as saying, I'm gonna take this thing that I take for granted so much, my breath, and I'm just gonna give it my attention. And whether your eyes are open or whether your eyes are closed, you can take that pause that refreshes and just shift back to your center. Shift back to your core. Know your peace is always there, you know, that it doesn't take much to reestablish that connection and feel that again.
Yeah, so, breath is super important.
Yeah, so I would like to just say to everybody, take the pause that refreshes often. You know, maybe every time you even notice that little icon, you take a mini breath or you just set the intention. You know, especially when I notice I'm being stressed out, I'm just going to take a mini pause. I might even tell others, I just need to pause for a moment and take a breath. Or I might even invite others to just pause and take a breath with me. So that's about it.
That's a really powerful technique because so often you don't realize that you're not really hyperventilating, but you're breathing very shallowly. And your brain needs oxygen to function effectively. And frankly, spirit is connected through your breath. And the deeper you can breathe, the more you can let more spirit flow through you and the more you can connect back to yourself. So that's a really good reminder, Elaine. Breathing is a foundation.
Yeah. It's key. It's key. Yeah. Now, I'm really thrilled that you mentioned the whole thing about breathing deeply, as opposed to most of the time we're walking around with this shallow breathing. And you probably know, and many of the people who know me know that one of the things that I teach is the practice of laughter yoga. And they say, well, we've heard laughter is the best medicine. So yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. But what is this yoga part of it? Like, if I come to a laughter yoga session, do I have to bring a mat? No, you don't have to bring a mat. The yoga part of laughter yoga is weaving in intentional deep breathing into the activity. So for example, I could laugh shallowly and go, you know, but if I consciously take a long, deep breath, and like do a silent laugh with the intention to breathe in deeply, but then really get all of that air out. That is one exercise. That's one of the laughter yoga exercises that I do if I quickly want to refresh, if I quickly want to shift into a happier mood, because this engaging of the diaphragm with laughter, and especially when you're continuing to do the activity over 5 or 10 minutes, either alone or with other people or along to a video. But that repetition of the diaphragm in with the deep breathing and the laughing will trigger just a slew of benefits, not just the greater oxygenation that makes it feel good, but it stimulates our immune system. It really, it nourishes the cardiovascular system. I mean, there's just tons and tons and tons of things. So the pause that refreshes and the laughter pause that refreshes, they're both good.
You know, I want to share something that I read a long time ago in a magazine, and it was a young father with a newborn infant. And I had never realized that there are actually 2 different types of breathing. There's one type of breathing that we do when we're awake and a different type of breathing we do when we sleep. And the only way babies learn how to do it is by being on the chest of someone they love who's snoozing. And so this father said it's a really good idea to take your baby for a nap and teach the baby how to duplicate your breathing. And you'll notice if you're hanging out with somebody who's really relaxed and they're breathing deeply and they're just so happy, you start to mimic their breathing patterns. And it's the same if somebody's in a panic and they're all worried, and then you start to breathe really fast, you know, and your phone starts flipping out. So, or maybe that's just me. But yeah, so we tend to influence each other's breathing. So not only is there benefit to you personally by taking that deep breath, you inspire those around you to recenter, to re-engage, to recapture that connection with spirit through their breath.
So when you were saying that, you know, the matching the breathing, and so if I'm more conscious about deep breathing, does that relate to some of the principles of NLP, of neuro-linguistic programming, where you aim to, well, I guess, where you aim to make a connection with a person by mirroring them in some way? That could be a conscious connection.
Yeah.
Okay. But then once there's a certain amount of trust and connection established, then if I was doing the deep breathing, then that other one might at some point, when they're relaxed, then they might start to even mirror me, like unconsciously.
Yes. And so
I haven't studied NLP. I know a little bit about it. Have you been a student of NLP?
I have not studied neuro-linguistic programming at all, but there are mirror neurons that are right behind your eyebrows. And everybody has mirror neurons. And when you're speaking with someone, that's why yawning is so contagious. If I start to yawn, you're going to start to yawn because we're in the middle of a conversation. Don't go there. And
no, I actually demonstrate the yawning all the time because the mirror neurons are also involved in laughter becoming contagious. Same
yeah.
thing. But I didn't really, you're more studied on this than I am. I love it. I've never heard about mirror neurons related to,
Yeah.
on the forehead or by the eyebrows. So,
Yep, they're right behind your eyebrows in your brain, at the forefront of your brain, right behind your eyebrows. That's where they are. And that's why also the eyes are the window to the soul. We see what's going on and we mirror what's going on. We want to connect, we want to belong, we want to have a connection with each other. And so we tend to adopt each other's behaviors unconsciously. And that's why when you take the time to breathe deeply and really relax, you are enhancing spirit for yourself and you're enhancing spirit for those around you. It's very powerful.
I love it. I love it. Now, I'm laughing because here we are, this is your first time like doing a two-person Facebook
two-person.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done just a couple, maybe two. This is the third one. And it occurs to me, if you plan to do this in advance, there are ways to actually like put your iPhone on a tripod. So it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have done that, huh? Next time.
These are the things we learn, and that's why we're taking a challenge, because
Yeah.
and when we share these with others who are taking challenge, it's like, oh yeah, good thing to remember in advance.
Yeah, I have one here on my desk, but it's totally buried, so God knows where it went.
Yeah.
I will find
Oh,
mine, and next time I won't be jiggling around quite so much. I promise.
Yeah. Hey, some people like the jiggles.
Elaine, thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for showing me how to do a two-person Facebook Live video. This is really fun.
Okay, this has been fun. Elaine and Elaine. Hey, if you're watching this and you really like Elaine ×2, let us know. Maybe we'll do this again.
Absolutely. Take care,
Sounds
everybody.
like a plan. Thank you. So long.
Bye.